This is the Thames. Absolutely mind-blowing.
My family built a world-famous restaurant on its banks.
Ooh la la.
But I'm on a journey beyond that, discovering the food
How can you not like that?
and characters that live
Lovely, look at that.
and work by its side.
Scotch eggs on a boat. Thank you.
Then returning to my boat's galley to cook some of my favourite recipes. From the gentle home county waters
Chef Michel, absolutely fantastic.
to the food and energy of the tidal waves.
We are on liquid history.
That is incredible. Oh, wow. Excellent.
And out to sea. Delicious dishes everywhere I go.
I am seriously salivating.
Cheers.
This is my Roux down the river. I'm starting my journey in Berkshire, along this beautiful stretch of the Thames. Locals have told me I have to visit a much-loved pub right on the water in Cookham, so I'm en route. And what a host of jaw-dropping properties along the way.
And the lawns are so immaculate. They must have a competition between each houses. Who has the best lawn?
The Thames has 45 locks to navigate. And with a little help from my skippers Edward Kerr and his wife Kate, Balter's Lock is the first to tackle.
Have you ever worked a lock before?
No.
I guess you're never too old to learn.
So the first thing we've got to do is get the water out of the lock. You can see the sluices are coming up.
Yeah.
Just keep your finger on it until they stop.
I'm glad this one's electric. Some are still manual.
It is very quickly, doesn't it? Wow.
Do you think that you'll be able to do the gates opening and gates closed while I bring the boat in?
I think even a chef can manage that.
Well, we'll see.
What could go wrong?
Everything.
That boat looks terribly small in that lock.
All right, Mr. Lockkeeper. Close them up.
The pressure's on, chef.
Before long, we're through and on our way into Wind in the Willows country. A peaceful, picturesque stretch that inspired writer Kenneth Grahame to pen his classic.
You're surrounded by nature, aren't you? Life on the river is so much slower and we all rush around so much. And it's nice to just decompress a little bit. Have you noticed, have you felt it?
Absolutely, 100%. It
Good.
really is. And I live a life that's always at 100 miles an hour and full on, and I find it very difficult to switch off.
Yes.
But on the river, most definitely, you do find yourself just taking a breath.
We call it river time.
River time. Yeah, I like that. I like that, river time.
I think I could adjust to this pace.
This is the life.
As the river widens, my first stop comes into view. One of the most popular riverside draws over the summer months, the Bounty Pub is only accessible by foot or boat.
Oi! Thanks, skipper.
While it's a haven for locals and river folk alike, landlord Damien Wright and his team have to bring all their stock in via the water.
Oh, that's nice. I'm trying to get my head around this. So this pub is packed today. Kids, family, and they've all come here by foot or by boat.
Yeah, we've got 260 foot of mooring, so yeah, we just asked for a donation to our charity, and then people can moor up overnight.
You live here on the premises?
Yeah, I wake up every morning, go out for a cup of tea in the morning and sit by the river. It's perfect.
This charming family pub was taken over by Damien's parents in the 80s. But many are drawn here to indulge in its famous speciality, Not one, but two kinds of cheesy chips. Cheddar or Stilton.
They are the best cheese
This is
chips.
what you come down for, isn't it? Cheesy chips. Oh, I know.
It seems everyone is catered for here.
I think it's my parents' house.
I've seen you've got a dog menu as well.
We have indeed, yes. Yeah. Sometimes we have more dogs than people. So it's,
But these rooms weren't always so friendly. In the 1930s, story has it that Edward and Mrs. Simpson secretly met with German Nazi sympathizers here, landing their planes in the field behind the pub. Happily, those days are long gone. I'm ready to dig into what makes this family pub its own kind of foodie destination.
got a lot of local chefs and they pull up with their families and enjoy a cheesy chip or two.
Right, I need to try those cheesy chips.
If you want to go and sit outside, I'll go and get some and bring them out to you.
Smashing.
Cheese chips.
Oh, my word.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Look at this.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my word. Look at that. How can you not like that? That is exactly what you want in a place like this. Big portion of big fat chips, lovely and crispy, smothered in cheese, chucked under the grill. Marriage made in heaven. The problem with food like this is, as soon as you start, you can't stop.
You can never have too much of a good thing. So I'm going to make a classic French version. A delicious, indulgent truffade.
What's brilliant about this recipe is that it's great to cook on a boat because it's just all in one pot. I don't have all those fryers like they have in the pub, so I'm just frying this in good old duck fat. It's a little bit naughty, but boy, is it good.
Start with chopped lardons.
Now, it's called truffade, which translates as truffle, but there are no truffles in this dish. It really is a peasant's dish at heart, full of calories, guaranteed to warm you up. It's starting to colour a bit. Now I put the potatoes in.
Sliced thin to cook quickly, once doused in the sizzling fat.
Keep the heat on a medium heat, so as they start to cook and colour. It may not look the prettiest, but it certainly doesn't lack in flavour. Cheese, potato and bacon. That is always going to be good in my books.
A little seasoning,
Generous amount of pepper.
and pop the lid on for 10 minutes.
Starting to colour and stick, which is the whole idea. They are supposed to stick a bit there and cook, and they're going to break up whilst you're cooking. That's normal. Traditionally, this would have been done on an open fire in a big cast iron pot. This, for me, is real cooking, and I'm doing it on the Thames.
Add the chopped garlic now. If I'd put it in any earlier, it would have burnt.
Can't get much more French than this.
Lid on for another 10, then take a look.
Oh, yes. Right. The bacon is nice and brown. That's like a piece of truffle. Poor man's truffle. Oh, potatoes are all cooked. There's some burnt kind of caramelized bits in there as well. So we've got these lovely brown, gnarly bits here.
If you thought it couldn't get any better, it's now ready for the cheese. And I'm using 3 varieties.
Classic truffade would be just Cantal cheese or tome fresh Cantal. But for me, I'm in England, I'm on the Thames, on my little boat. I'm going English cheese, bit of red Leicester.
It will give some colour and bite.
Now the Emmental is French, and it's got a depth of flavour. And then Ogle Shield, Just got that lovely stringiness that's gonna really work well. Now the lid back on to create steam and for that cheese to melt and run into the potatoes.
5 minutes later, we're in business.
Right, let's have a look. Gosh, that looks good. I am literally salivating. I am drooling. It looks so good and smells so good. The colours are amazing. I think the addition of the red Leicester there enhances it. It's better than the French version. This is the Thames English version. Oh. The potato is really soft and has soaked up all the duck fat. The smoked bacon comes in there, hint of garlic, and that mix of cheese. That is proper cheesy potatoes. I should take some of this back to the guys at the pub. I'm not sharing, though. It's all mine.
My journey continues, and I'm moving from riverside bars to Michelin stars. I'm en route to Bray.
A tiny village nestled on the River Thames that boasts 7 Michelin stars and is hailed as the gastronomic capital of the UK. This really is spectacular, isn't it? Yeah, the way
Just relaxing, isn't it?
the river just meanders around and you've got this beautiful vista.
Known as Cliveden Deep, a little further up, the river meets the Chiltern Chalk at the Cliveden Cliffs. This causes the water to suddenly change direction.
And there's Cliveden House, where my father worked as a scullery boy for the Astor family when he was a teenager.
It's funny to think Dad would have looked out across these waters every day.
I suppose when you get to my age, you have time to reflect on what's gone past, and it's perfect being on the boat because you can almost see your life go past you.
Skipper Ed is just as proud of his family and has whipped up one of their classics.
Hey, Scotch egg time!
Scotch eggs on a boat.
That's really nice. They're really runny. They look good.
But you've got to be honest now, once you take them.
They look good. Really good. Really good crumb on the outside. The meaty is good, not overpowering. I'm really impressed with the cooking because the runny yolk is not easy to do. I'm going in for seconds.
Excellent.
So that's a good sign,
That's a
isn't
very good sign. I'm absolutely delighted.
it? Very good, well done.
Thank you.
Here we are at my next stop, the heart of the Roux family's river story, the Waterside Inn.
This is a very tricky mooring.
Like an expert. Here we go, home from home.
This 3 Michelin-starred restaurant was opened by my Uncle Michel and Father Albert in 1972. It's now run by my cousin Alain.
It's wonderful, it's just gorgeous. So when Father and Uncle bought the Waterside, they would have been in their mid-30s.
Yes.
Quite a gamble.
Well, at that time, yes, because there was no fine dining or no French restaurant outside London. So I can imagine it was quite a risk.
It was a risk that paid off, as over the years, diners from Elvis Presley to Jackie Onassis and Robert Redford have eaten here.
I remember as a kid just going off the pontoon there and fishing.
Indeed. I spent like all lunch service fishing. That was when I was about 12 years old. And I remember getting out one of those massive pike, maybe the biggest I've caught. And I could hear clapping. The restaurant, they were all the guests were standing up and clapping. Dad came out of his kitchen and said, you know, I haven't started cooking yet.
No.
What's happening? Who are those claps for?
And both brothers had sons that took over the business as well. I mean, I don't think that they would have actually dreamed of that. Maybe they did dream about that, but it's just a wonderful story and a wonderful heritage.
Definitely. We're all about legacy. That's what we see in our family.
I could sit on this bank all day, but I'm here for the food, and there's nowhere quite like a Michelin-starred kitchen.
Bonjour, chef.
Ça va?
Ça va, vous?
Bonjour. Good to see you.
Very good.
Wow. Smells so good. And it's actually quite quiet in here. I think there's 24, 26 chefs, including about 8 in the pastry section. It is incredible. But there's no screaming, no shouting. Everybody knows exactly what they're responsible for and what they have to do. That is how a 3 Michelin star kitchen is run.
Before service begins, Alain and I are going to make one of the restaurant's oldest recipes. Œuf poché en feuilleté aux pointes d'asperges, sauce hollandaise.
Do you still put this dish on the menu now?
Yes. Still, after, I think, about 40 years, when something is good, why remove it or why change it?
Exactly. It's a classic for a reason.
Asparagus, poached egg and truffle, a heavenly combination. Encased in puff pastry and covered in a hollandaise sauce I have yet to make.
So in here we've got some white wine, some vinegar, and 2 lovely egg yolks. And then I need to whisk like mad.
That's it. Now get the muscles pumping.
It's been years since Alain and I have worked in the same kitchen, but it feels as natural as ever.
I think we're ready to put the melted butter.
Teamwork, chef.
You're doing all the hard work there.
So do you think my father and uncle, when they first opened the Waterside Inn, would have done this?
Yes.
So who
They would, but
swearing.
both of them.
And here we are now, both of us.
We have fun. They used to argue most of the time. Look at that. Those skills. You haven't changed.
It's all in the wrist action, chef.
It's always a pleasure and a lesson to cook with you, Michel.
A mushroom and cream duxelles,
I am salivating.
blanched asparagus tips, and perfectly poached eggs. Not forgetting the puff pastry to hold it all.
Oh, these are beautiful. Look at that. Oh, my word.
Plating up starts with some duxelles to hold everything in place. The rest to fill up those cases.
Dad used to tell me off when I didn't hollow enough. Because it's crucial. If you want to have enough mushroom in there or enough filling, you need to hollow your pastry.
It's attention to detail that makes the difference. Something so simple, but you need to get everything right. Perch the egg on top. Oh, my word. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, and truffle.
Truffle, melted butter just to make them shine.
You are spoiling me, Anna. Let's have a taste.
We can taste it.
Oh, look at that.
Perfectly cooked. That's a poached egg, the way I like them.
Oh, runny. Oh, my God. The puff pastry is lovely and flaky and buttery, intense mushroom flavor. This brings back such wonderful memories. That's what makes it so special.
This is heaven on a plate.
I'm going to get out of Alan's way for a bit. So in honor of my father and uncle, it's a chance to cook an equally elegant dish. Pasta filled with lobster and salmon in a brandy cream sauce. I hope they'll forgive a few shortcuts that come with cooking on a boat.
The precision and detail that goes into cooking in a 3 Michelin star restaurant is incredible. And, of course, luxurious ingredients. And you can't get much more luxurious than a lobster. It would be criminal to waste anything.
Once I extract the meat from the claws and body, it's all about the tail.
Lean on it like so. Crack the shell. And then peel it off.
This is my favourite piece.
Wow, beautiful.
But it's the lobster's head that's the jewel in the crown.
Now, there's so much flavour in here. That is what's going to make the sauce so good. Put all of that in there.
The star of the pasta filling will be the lobster.
So I've got my lobster trim here. I'm just going to chop them up into little pieces.
But I'm also adding a chopped skinned salmon fillet.
It's an oily fish, and it just adds a little bit more richness and binds the lobster together.
Fresh dill, tarragon and chives is a gentle combination that won't overpower the fish.
Whenever I pick tarragon, I think of Dad, because he absolutely adored tarragon.
As I'm making this dish in his and my uncle's memory, the sauce also has to be spectacular. Luckily, this one is.
It's got brandy, it's got cream, and it's got lobster. Yeah.
The taste is as high-end as it gets, but the technique is easy. Sweat down diced celery, carrot and shallots in a generous knob of butter.
Layers of flavour.
In with some chopped garlic, a little tomato paste, then the lobster bones and trimmings, crushed down to release their oils, before adding a swig of brandy.
A good sauce takes time and understanding, precision, and the chemistry of cooking. That's what my father and uncle passed down to Alain and I.
Some fish stock will punch up the flavour even more, while double cream will bring this sauce home to its French roots.
Cooking on this boat feels like I'm in a brandy cream lobster-infused sauna. And it's rocking.
Keeping half an eye on the sauce, I can fill the pasta, but cheating slightly.
I'm using wonton sheets that I've bought. They're really good pasta shells, so I'm sure Dad and Uncle wouldn't mind. And just get it nice and wet on the edges.
Be generous with the filling. It should hold more sway than the pasta itself.
Right. Sauce is ready, perfect consistency, and it leaves a trail on the spoon like that. That is good.
Pass it through a sieve to get rid of any grit or bones.
Flavour bomb. Mustn't go to waste.
These delicious parcels should only take a few minutes in boiling salted water.
Very important that the pasta should be cooked al dente, still have a little bite to it.
Time to plate up, and there is only one way to present it.
When I took over from my father, every lobster dish had the lobster head like this. So that's a little nod to him. Wow, this looks amazing. That is so good. It's indulgent, it's creamy, but it's not too heavy. And the pasta parcels with all those lovely fresh herbs in there, just a lovely bit of freshness. This is a really special dish.
People travel from all over the world to dine at my family's Thameside restaurant. Some even by boat. They are drawn here by the view and the food. Dishes known.
Oh my word, what have we got here? Tripe. Is that my lunch, chef?
Yes, chef.
And new ones being tested.
So the leeks you've grilled on one side?
The other side as well, but I took it out.
Yeah,
when
you
I
took
was
it out. I'm sure it's enough like that. Very nice, lovely, good idea.
And it is amazing. I mean, it is fantastic. Everywhere you look, there's precision. Little grills here, sauces bubbling away.
It's all very enticing, but for many diners, they are looking for something sweet.
Here we are in my favourite part of the kitchen, the pastry section. This is where all those lovely sweet things happen. And it's so precise. It takes me back to my apprenticeship as a pastry chef. Even got a ruler out there to cut the gâteau opéra.
One of the first cakes I made as an apprentice.
You got a little piece for me, chef?
Of course.
Oh, wow, look at that. Perfect lines, coffee, chocolate, biscuit joconde, beautifully glazed. Oh. Don't tell Alain.
Because he wants to make another pudding for us. And I can't wait.
I can see all the ingredients for one of my favourite desserts there.
I think it's one of our favorite desserts.
Yeah.
The raspberry souffle.
Oh, yeah. OK, seeing as I whisked up the hollandaise,
Yeah.
you can whisk the egg whites.
I'll
okay?
do that one.
Hey, that's cheating, chef.
You know, I'm using my equipment. Look at those arms.
For all its magnificence, this souffle is basically whipped egg whites and caster sugar, folded into a raspberry crème pâtissière.
See, I've got the rhythm.
Done a good job there, chef.
So about a third of the egg white.
So always about a third.
That's it.
This slackens the crème pâte. Then it all goes back into the bowl,
And then fold it in.
straight into the souffle molds.
A couple of macaroons inside.
Yes, some vanilla macaroons.
Just press them in.
Gives that little extra flavor.
And then a couple of boozy raspberries in there as well.
Yes.
That's going to be a surprise when you go into the souffle. Just run your thumb around the edge, and that way the souffle should rise true.
Alain pops them into a moderate oven.
Ah, oh la 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 la. Look at that. The monkfish?
Yes.
Huh? Good.
12 minutes later, the raspberry souffles are done.
Ooh la la.
Some fresh raspberries and a rich raspberry sauce, and they're ready.
Let's go.
Steaming. That is bloody good.
I think I've got my macaroon now.
Oh. It's creamy. It's got that lovely velvety texture. Not too sweet.
It's calling for more.
It's a very generous portion and might not be big enough.
Shall I leave you mine?
It's been a dream cooking with my cousin again, in a kitchen like this. Time to move on, but before, there is one more visit to make. Next to the restaurant, mere meters from the water, is a place with a very special family link.
Sandwiched between 3 Michelin-starred restaurants is this grand church that's been here for over 700 years.
My family will be connected here forever, as it's the final resting place of Alain's father and my uncle.
Michel-André Roux, the king of chefs, whose stars will shine brightly forever. I couldn't come to Bray and not pay my respects.
It's not just my family who holds sway over this part of the Thames. Groundbreaking chef Heston Blumenthal is also a huge presence in the village of Bray. His world-famous 3-star restaurant, The Fat Duck, has stood here for 28 years. More recently, he added the Hind's Head. I used to come to this pub before Heston's time, so I'm keen to see how it's changed.
too.
Oh, good. It still looks like a proper pub.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want it to be.
Yeah.
I'd love to show you upstairs as well. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
Yeah? Follow me.
Manager Ellen Romeo knows all the secrets.
So upstairs we have the Royal Lounge. We named it that because the Queen used to visit. She had a big party here. And legend has it that Prince Philip had his secret second stag do here as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Look at these beautiful beams as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible that, you know, if they could talk.
I know, yes. Building is 600 years old. So it's been everything, a manor house, a hunting lodge where we've got the guns up here. It's been a restaurant, it's been a vicarage.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of things, which is why there's all these lovely quirky bits all around the room.
It is lovely. It's got a lovely vibe to it, lovely
Yes.
feel. Can't wait to taste the food.
The exec chef is Pete Gray, who's been here for 10 years.
Check on chefs, fish and chips ×2.
While Heston is known for innovative theatrical dishes, this pub is all about the British classics.
Right, Josh, can you drop 2 Scotch eggs for me, please?
Diners flock here for those Scotch eggs, as well as venison carpaccio, and of course, Heston's original triple-cooked chips.
Service, please.
It's making me hungry.
I've never cooked for Michelle. This is the first time, so obviously we're all quite nervous. We're cooking for such a legend within the chef world.
I can't wait. Chef wants me to start with the crab sandwich and soup.
Toasted bread, tomato fondue, white and brown crab meat with shaved fennel.
We're just going to very delicately pop it on top. This just cuts through the crab meat and the toast. Nice little burst of acidity. It's our take on the crab sandwich. We serve it with a beautiful crab velouté with a little sprinkling of coffee on top. So coffee and crab's quite an unusual combination, but it works really well. A little crabbuccino.
Oh, wow, thank you. It smells lovely.
I'm a sipper.
Yeah.
I like to pinky out, sip. Some people like to dunk. It's all about how you feel.
Cheers.
Cheers. Pinky out.
Pinky out. Oh, wow. Depth of
Yeah.
flavour there. And the coffee on top, like, just gives it a little extra dimension. It feels rich in the mouth, as in creamy, but it's not that creamy, is it?
Yeah.
It's quite light. Right, let's go for the crouton. Woohoo! That is gorgeous. Lovely sweet crab meat. Bit of fennel on top for freshness.
Yeah.
Perfect foil for that velvety crab soup.
Yes.
Compliments to the chef. While for some, a visit to this Thameside Michelin destination is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Like many village pubs, it also has its regulars.
So that's Ian. So he is one of our locals. He comes in every single Friday with Charlie, his dog, staying there, and he has fish and chips every single Friday without fail.
And that's his table.
Yes.
Fish and chips are a big seller here. Served with a chippy sauce. Described as the bottom of a chip bag in a sauce. But Chef has something even more indulgent for me.
I've heard on the grapevine that Michelle Roux loves offal, so hopefully he's really going to like our classic oxtail and kidney pudding. We get the oxtail in whole, and then we cut it into pieces and we brine it for 24 hours. And then we will slow cook it for 16 hours till it's all falling apart and off the bone. And then we'll gently pick it all down, removing all the fatty pieces from it. So you just have these beautiful, luxurious, soft chunks of oxtail meat. And we take the raw diced ox kidney and we mix them together, so it's quite messy, with some more oxtail sauce. And then we pack it into the pastry case and then we steam it.
It's been on the menu for years. We have people call up and say, I'm booking a table, is the oxtail and kidney pudding on? Because I want it.
It steams for 40 minutes and voila.
Release the air pocket. We just got this amazing, rich, beefy oxtail sauce. And when you tuck into it, the pudding just soaks up all the sauce. So it's not for the faint-hearted.
my word. The mahogany colour of it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is one heck of a statement. I mean, it's a small bowl,
Yes.
pudding, loads of sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that. That looks so, so good. Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
The suet crust is so light and it just acts like a piece of bread and you can soak up all that lovely juice and gravy. And the kidneys, they're not strong. They've been cooked properly. The oxtail is lovely and moist and tender. It's lip-smacking good, and it literally is lip-smacking good, isn't it? Because there's a lot of gelatin in the oxtail and it's just, yeah. Oh, it's really, really good. Ah, Pete. I'm not surprised it's his favourite dish. I think it's my favourite dish too.
Oh, good. He'll be pleased to hear that.
Yeah. Can we meet him?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Let's go.
Hello, chefs.
Hello, chef.
I love seeing a kitchen in full swing. This lot are at the top of their game.
Nice to meet you, chef. How you doing?
That was the best bit of oxtail and kidney
fantastic.
pie I've
Liked it.
had, I tell you. That was
Brilliant.
good. Is that your favourite as well?
Absolutely. Absolute true British classic.
And you've worked your way up through the
right.
ranks.
That's right, yeah. Hard work, just say junior sous, head chef, and then to exec. So I'm learning every day being an exec.
That's brilliant, brilliant. So when you started, you had dark hair.
I did, yeah. And it's just got progressively grey.
Look at me. Yeah.
Not as good as yours.
Honestly, Pete,
Pleasure.
that was amazing.
Thank you so much, chef.
I will be back for more,
Fantastic.
but maybe not tonight. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thanks, chefs.
A great team. What a way to start this foodie adventure along the Thames. After that oxtail pudding, there is only one recipe I want to make. Rich, delicious venison pies.
For me, venison is the ideal meat to put in a pie. It's a little bit gamey, but it's got just so much flavour, and it sings out autumn and winter to me.
To start, I'm making a farce gratin, basically a chicken liver pate.
So a generous spoonful of duck fat. I'm going to get that nice and hot. Duck fat or pork fat has just got bags and bags of flavour.
Once smoking, sear the chicken livers with some chopped shallots, thyme and a bay leaf.
Chicken livers are so delicious.
This pate, alongside the venison, is going to create a rich, deep pie filling.
So the chicken livers are nice and pink. The shallots are just starting to colour. Now I need to deglaze with a bit of port. It's just picking up all the sugars of the caramelised meat in the pan there, or the chicken liver.
After a minute, turn it off and pass it through a fine sieve.
This is what I want, the chicken liver puree or pate. You could even just spread that on toast.
To finish the filling off, add the minced venison and pork fat with a little minced pork to bind it.
Bit of seasoning. You can be quite generous with the pepper. And then there is no other way to mix this than just using your hands, I think. You've got to get in there and really, really mix this up.
When cold, these pies can be eaten like traditional pork ones.
But I'm going to be serving mine hot from the oven and making a little sauce to go with it.
Shape them into balls so they fit perfectly into the pastry.
Right, now for the exciting bit, the fun bit, making the pies.
Take buttered 2-inch pie rings and line them with circles of pre-made puff pastry.
So I just fold it a bit, like so, and drop the pastry in. So just press that against the sides. So that's ready now to put the stuffing in. Press that down and then fold over the puff pastry there. It's a little bit rustic, it's not too fancy. I'm not worried if there are some folds there that don't look too neat.
That's because I'm adding a lid. and sticking it down with egg wash. Now for the all-important chimney.
Just roll up some greaseproof paper. And with a little knife, I aim for the middle, make a hole, and push the paper in. And that's going to let the steam out, which hopefully should mean the puff pastry will be nice and crisp. Just a little bit of decoration. You can take the chef out the kitchen, but not the kitchen out the chef.
5 more to make. Then into the oven at 180 fan for 45 minutes.
Right, now to make the sauce, I'm going to use the same pan that I fried the livers in because that's got lots of flavour and it saves on washing up. The last thing I want to do in my little sink is washing up.
More duck fat and chopped shallots. Sweat them down before adding some crushed juniper berries.
That smells really nice. And that juniper just sings game. I mean, juniper, venison, bit of pepper as well. Spice is so important with, I think, with game.
Some port for sweetness and a glug of red wine for acidity. Let it reduce before adding beef stock.
Just boil that down for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you've got the most wonderful, fragrant, unctuous sauce to go with venison pie. The smell of puff pastry and venison is intoxicating. These are fabulous, straight out the oven, served with a creamy mashed potato and that juniper red wine sauce. Oh, yeah. The venison is gamey, but not over the top. And the liver in there just adds so much depth. Oh, wow.
And that's it for this section of the river. Cookham to Bray in Berkshire. 25 miles out from London. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the food waiting for me along the way.